All right, hey guys. So it's finally that time, my 2020 home gym tour. The reason why you're outside is that I wanted to kind of demonstrate that being in Taiwan, small island, land is incredibly valuable, outrageously expensive. You probably wouldn't believe the prices people pay for even the smallest little piece of land. So part of the byproduct of that is that we can't build out. People don't have garages, people don't have outdoor, big, large areas to build home gyms. So instead of building out, we build houses up. So my house is very narrow, but it's very tall. And my home gym is all the way up on the 3rd floor. And every single weight, every single bar, every single piece of equipment that I have in my gym, I had to walk up by hand these 3 flights of stairs. So I'll show you what it's like. And here it is. This is the entrance to my home gym. It's pretty telling of what's inside. All right, this is where it all starts. I walk in here, the very first thing I do is I flip on the lights, turn on the AC, and I come over here and I get the TV going. Squat rack is very simple. If you saw my build video, I built it myself. It's 2-inch by 2-inch square tubing anchored into the wall. I've also got this accessory plate-loaded weight stack to accompany my other cable machine. There's more information about that in my other video. As you'll notice, it only comes out about 55 centimeters from the wall, so less than 2 feet from the wall. It's very compact. I've got these IKEA mirrors set up behind it, and I've got these floor mats on each side that are extra thick. Each mat is about 1.5 inches thick, and I've got 3 of them on each side. And I typically use those just as a way to do like block pulls or something else. So instead of having big wooden blocks, I just use more floor mats. Now, I built this myself, so the squat rack itself, with all the material, the steel, the concrete anchors, even for this accessory weight stack, like these tubes, the cable, everything else, I calculated the grand total as far as materials go. It cost me probably around $45 or $50. We'll play it safe, we'll round up and say $50 for this squat rack. So 50 bucks on the materials for that. I built it myself. The IKEA mirrors behind, this is before I found my commercial mirrors. Basically in Taiwan, they had this government incentive. Every year, every couple of years, the government will come up with a way to kind of incentivize people to spend money within the local economy. And the way they did it this time was they offered these kind of vouchers. And basically what it was is that if you're an actual legal resident of Taiwan, you have a government ID number, then you could go to a certified place and give them about 500 NT, which is a little more than 15 US dollars. And a few weeks later, you could go pick up vouchers that were worth equivalent to about 100 US dollars. So you give them 15, a few weeks later, they give you vouchers that are worth 100. So what I did was I took my vouchers and I went to IKEA, and these little mirrors, which are 8 inches by 12 inches or 20 centimeters by 30 centimeters, these were on sale for, I think, like $1.50 a piece or something like that. But I only spent about half of my voucher money on these. So I spent $15 on the vouchers. We'll round up from the half and say instead of $7.50, we'll say $8. So we'll say that I spent $8 on all these IKEA mirrors. So 50 bucks for the rack, $8 for the IKEA mirrors. For the bar I got free actually. This is a more modern CrossFit style bar. I'm a fan of stiff bars as well. I recently had a separate bar that was a very stiff bar. I ended up selling so I could actually fund the purchase of some more equipment. But this one is a little more whippy, which is very nice for things like, you know, fast pace, ass to grass, Olympic style squats. Gives you a little more rebound out of the bottom. When you're doing deadlift, obviously the bar has some flex, that's nice. But the bar, because it was a package deal with other equipment, actually ended up being free. In this corner, we've got some more leg / lower body equipment. Now, if you remember from my old videos, I had initially built my own leg press hack squat machine, and it worked fantastically. I used it, my wife used it. Nothing wrong with it in the world. We loved it. However, I basically came across this deal, once in a lifetime opportunity, honestly, where we were going to buy plate weight. And when we went to this place to buy plate weight, it turned out it wasn't some guy at some regular house. this was a ceramics company. And apparently this ceramics company, or business, whatever you want to call it, had been family owned and in business since the Qing dynasty. And they had this whole big property. Their old original house was still there. The certain walls of the original brick building factory were still there. They had this whole new building actually built around that. Very, very cool experience. They gave us a tour of the property. We talked to them. They were nice people. We bonded a lot. They were good old-fashioned country folk. They had actually never met a foreigner before. So they were very excited to see me and ask me about America and everything else. But good people, good experience. But when they took us to the spare room of one of the buildings where the weights were being stored, we saw that they had some gym equipment. And as I was looking at the weights, it turned out that they said that they had no plans for the gym equipment. They didn't know if they were going to sell it or not. They hadn't thought about it. They were just trying to slowly get rid of things. And they knew that the plate weight was worth something. So they were selling the plate weight because they knew it was worth something. They didn't know if anybody would want the gym equipment. They said that if we wouldn't mind taking apart the gym equipment and moving it ourselves, basically doing all the grunt work, then they would just give it to us. If we bought all of the plate weight, if you buy all of the plate weight that we have, which I wanted to do anyway, we'll throw in the machines for free. So this has replaced the leg press hack squat machine that I built, just because it's a little more compact and it was free. Now the Glute Ham Raise is one of those things that I've wanted for a long time. I probably wanted one of these in my own gym for 10 or 15 years. And these things are brutal. It is the only exercise in the world that works your entire hamstring from top to bottom and also puts it in a state where every single part is as stretched out and as extended as it can possibly be. And then it goes through an entire range of motion where the entire hamstring from top to bottom is then as tight and contracted as it can possibly be. It's great for your lower back. It's brutal on your hamstrings. Most people who you see that are big and strong and you think are very, very athletic cannot do one of these properly. It's a one-of-a-kind machine. It takes up a lot of floor space, but it's literally the only exercise in the world and the only machine in the world that can do this. And the guy that I bought some of my other equipment from that I'll point out in a minute, it's a different guy who owned his own commercial gym. He was closing one location, focusing his attention on a different location, and anything that he didn't need in the new location or wouldn't fit, he was posting up for sale. And he actually had really good prices. He just wanted to get rid of it so he could get out of that building fast. And I got him to give me this for $100. So $100 for my Glute Ham Raise, worth every penny. I love this thing. It's brutal. In this corner of the gym, I have my actual commercial incline bench. I bought this from the same guy I bought the Glute Ham Raise from. A lot of people neglect the upper chest, and they shouldn't, because that's the number one thing you should be building. That's a key. But I was able to buy this from the same guy from the Glute Ham Raise, and I paid $200 for this. I use it a lot. And it does take up a lot of floor space. That's the only downside, is you think about how big this machine is or this bench is, and then you add the fact that there's a big barbell sticking out from the sides and you need to have space to actually get next to the barbell so you can load plates. It takes up a lot of floor space, but it is nice. Now this serves the entire gym. The reason why I like this was because it rotates, simple as that. The whole thing is on a big bearing system, and I can spin it around and get to any weight that I want. So it allows me to actually put it in the corner, and I can easily access all the weights. I don't have to walk around here or walk around there. And no matter where I'm coming from in the gym, whether I'm coming from this side or that side, I can access the one that I want just by spinning it. And even if I have weights in my hands, I can take my knee and just nudge it and spin it around until I get to the one that I want, and then stop it with my leg, and I'll load the plate. 25 kg plates are here. 20 kg plates are here. I've got 4 15 kg plates, 2 10 kg plates, and then I've got some more 15s and 10s over here on the bench. I've got some 2.5s, some 1 1/4s, and then these are like micro adjustments. For this weight tree, I spent about $30 US, depending on the conversion, 30, 35. We'll play it safe, we'll round it up and say I spent 35 on this. And then these plate weights are actually the ones that I bought at the ceramics company. I bought a total of 320 kgs of plate weight, and the 320 kgs of plate weight were about $1,200. Now, depending on where you're at, that might sound like a good deal or a bad deal. To kind of expand on that, basically, different kinds of plate weight cost different amounts. Those cast plates are usually the cheapest, but they're also the lowest quality. They have really wild fluctuations in how much they actually weigh. If you drop them, they'll crack, they chip. They're just not very good. And then you've got, you know, milled steel plates, you've got bumper plates, you've got all sorts of different plates, and they all cost different amounts. These are commercial style plates. These are actual like milled steel plates that then have a rubbery plastic kind of coating on it, and it has the triple handle all the way around. Now when you buy these here in Taiwan, these plates are sold by the kg, and the brand new price is usually $5 or $6 per kg. And again, depending on where you live, that might sound like a ripoff, or it might sound like a good deal, but here in Taiwan, stuff like weight is expensive. It's very, very expensive for a variety of reasons, and these can be up to $6 per kg. When I saw these selling for 1,200 bucks for 320 kgs, I was super stoked. The big deal that made it worth it for me was the fact that buying all 320 kgs meant that I got some equipment for free. Equipment that on its own is very valuable to me. So that was a good deal. 320 kgs of plate weight was 1,200 bucks. And to me, well worth the price. And I don't know how well you can see down here, but basically I have all my various accessories. All of these attachments were kind of free. The ones that I made, I used scrap material from other projects, so I didn't really have to pay anything for the scrap material. This one I did purchase myself. I spent $20 on this camber bar attachment. This came with my Total Gym, so I'll just say that it was free. This came free with the purchase of these plate weights. This, I think I paid $10 for. Maybe it was closer to 5, I'll play it safe, round it up to 10. And then this one came free with the plate weight. All right, now we come to the final corner of the gym. This whole room is like an L shape. So we started off that back corner with the squat rack, the leg press, the TV, the hyper extension, or the glute ham raise. Over here we have the incline bench. Bring it over here, we've got the weight tree. Here we've got the cable machine that I built, and I think the total material cost for this was 25 bucks. Doesn't use very much material, which is why it was so cheap, but $25 worth of material. And this is actually one of the things that a subscriber, I think, had commented. There must be an optical illusion with where the camera is at and the fact that this is black and the wall is black. But apparently on camera in my video, it appeared as though this is too close to the wall and you can't not fit Olympic plates on here. He actually said, bro, you know, there's no way Olympic plates are gonna fit, it's too close. But I assured him that I made this myself. I measured everything to fit any plate that I wanted, from big bumper plates to anything else. This is a 20 kg plate. There's plenty of space between this machine and the wall, and it fits just fine. I can actually still slide my hand behind the plate and the wall right here. So even though it might not look like it on camera, I assure you any plate will fit on this. I've got this bench, which is an adjustable bench. It goes all the way down to below flat, like a decline position, or it comes all the way up to an upright shoulder press position. This one I just use for its accessory port. This one has a split in the bench, so you can load stuff in here. Right now I have the leg developer on there, and I use it for my leg extensions and my leg curls. I also, under the bench here, have this dedicated preacher attachment. I can set the preacher in there for preacher curls. This was actually free. This bench came with this machine from the factory. So again, this machine and this bench were part of that combo deal of, if you buy all this plate weight for the price that we're asking, no haggling, you get the leg press and you get this and everything else for free. Just take it apart and move it yourself. Now this, I prefer to use this adjustable bench for this machine because I have limited space right here. And depending on what movement you're doing, whether it's a flat bench, decline bench, shoulder press, whatever else, the bench might need to move closer or further from the machine for the optimum angle. And this one over here is just too long. Even though it came with this machine, because of the feet that extend out for the stability's sake and everything else, there's just no room. It goes up against the wall and up against the machine, and you can't really move it at all. This bench is much more compact. This is a commercial bench by a company called Mass Fit. It is actually, I have paperwork for it. It's officially commercial rated for 400 kgs. So it's compact, but it's very strong, very sturdy. Typically, I actually keep this against the wall, but my wife was using this just today, so this is still set up. This is basically a PowerTech gym. This one's not made by PowerTech. A lot of these big companies that sell gym equipment on a commercial basis, whether it's companies like Hammer Strength, Cybex, Precor, Nautilus, all these different big name companies, most of them build most of their stuff in China now. It's basically one big factory that makes the equipment for all of these different companies, believe it or not. And not only do they sell the equipment for those companies to all their overseas clients, but they do the typical thing that the Chinese do. Since they already have the factory and they already have the materials and they already have the designs, they also build their own versions of a lot of this equipment. And sometimes it's just a straight up, it's like literally the exact same piece of equipment. It just doesn't say Hammer Strength on it. They take the tag off and they sell it for the local market, and it's a lot cheaper. But sometimes they'll take a design and they'll actually improve on it. This is an example of that. Basically, instead of having 2-inch tubing that's curved for the arm, it's got 2.5-inch tubing that then meets to a separate 3-inch piece of tubing. So much thicker, heavier duty tubing that's welded in the middle. And then it's got 1/4-inch plate on each side to sandwich it in. The handles here are longer so you can get a wider grip. All the holes in the upright are reinforced with tubing that goes through the holes to help guide the guide pin, and the tubing has a wall thickness of 1/4 inch. It's got heavier duty bearings and more of them, which also extend out further to resist the torsion of the plates being loaded. The feet come out further so the machine's more stable. It's got extended feet in the back, which the PowerTech doesn't have. Just a lot of different things. This PowerTech gym, which is basically what it is, just a beefed up version of it, this cost me nothing. This was the final piece that was free with the purchase of the plate weight. So I didn't pay anything for this. If you bought this one from the factory I'm talking about, this machine costs around $800. I think the PowerTech one costs $1,500, so nearly half the price of the PowerTech one, and it's actually built to better specs. But I didn't pay anything for it, it was free. This adjustable bench over here that I just showed you, the MassFit commercial bench, I spent $100 on that, so $100 for that bench. And then along with the purchase of the weights and everything else, I also got an actual lat bar, so that was free. I didn't pay anything for that. The other things I have not mentioned, but are a big deal that made a big difference in this gym, are these mirrors. These came out of the same gym that I bought the Glute Ham Raise, this adjustable bench, and the Incline Bench. I bought all those from the same guy, along with that barbell. When I bought the Incline Bench, the Glute Ham Raise, and this adjustable bench, he threw in the barbell for free. And he also asked if I was interested in these big gym mirrors. He offered me this one on this wall, and as you can see the reflection, there's also this one on this wall. So double-sided really helps make the space feel bigger when you're working out. But he had agreed to sell me both of these mirrors together for a combined total of $30 US. $30 US for both mirrors, worth every penny. Wish he had more to sell me because I'd put them all over the gym. But yeah, gym mirrors, 30 bucks. This is a concrete room. The whole house is reinforced concrete. So concrete paint here is cheap. A lot of buildings are made of reinforced concrete. You can buy the paint easily anywhere really, and it's very cheap. I was able to paint the entire room for 20 bucks. These floor mats, they're each 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters squared. And typically when you buy these things brand new, which I've done in the past for my other home gym, I had to spend around $6 per square. As a matter of fact, the very first time I ever bought them, I spent $8 per square. But then I got them on sale later for $6 a piece, and I was ecstatic about it. I came across a guy here in Longjing, here out in the country, who has a company that does a total separate business, and it just so happened that as he was clearing out one of these buildings, it was an old gym, and one of the things they cleared out were thousands of these floor mats. And I asked if I could buy some from him. He said, yeah, no problem. How many do you want? I think I needed 120 of them because of the shape of the room, plus some I already had left over. And he said, okay, $1 a piece. So I spent $120 on all of these floor mats. And again, on sale, I typically would have spent 6 times that much. And if I was paying full retail price, with no sale, I would have spent 8 times that much money. I almost forgot, I did have to purchase the AC just for this home gym because there was not one up here already. I bought that used for $100, so technically it was a purchase for the home gym, so $100 for the AC. And then I spent around $20 total on the foam that I used to cover the windows to help insulate the room a bit. And I also used some on the doors, you saw. But this is the home gym. This is now your wide view. You can see how it's laid out. I come into this door every day. First thing I do, flip on the lights, turn on the AC. I walk over here, turn on the TV, hit play on whatever playlist of strongman stuff I already had playing. Do my squats here, leg press, hack squat here, glute ham raise, incline bench, weight tree, all my cable attachments, dedicated cable machine, leg developer, power tech machine, separate adjustable bench, got my mirrors with my posing light directly above. I have not had workouts this good in probably 10 or 12 years. I'm not joking about that. I cannot remember the last time I had workouts this good. It was probably at my buddy Bruno's old gym, that invitation only gym I told you about. I had some of the best workouts of my life at that gym. The equipment that was there, the atmosphere, the people that were around were all hardcore competitors, the guys that are psyched up. It was kind of like my version of the golden age, right? That was a wonderful time and a wonderful environment. And although I don't have the gym crew, I don't have people here to work out with me, I've been able to set this up exactly how I want it. The dark colors, the lights in the right places, the mirrors where they're at, my careful selection of where I have things put, what kind of equipment that I have available. I have not found myself wanting anything. Hope you enjoyed my gym tour. Hope you found it interesting. Maybe you got some ideas. Thank you for watching. It really helps out. But yeah, today is my push day. I gotta get to work. I get my workout done. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.